Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about a story that has emerged, and there's debate over whether or not it is true. And we're going to talk about the story, talk about the likelihood of it being true, and then we're going to talk about why it doesn't matter whether it is or not. This is a common occurrence, and we've actually covered something similar in the past where the story, its truth, how accurate it is irrelevant because it's completely believable. Okay, so what's the story? If you haven't heard, the story is that some Russian officers that hadn't been getting paid or something like that, some Russian officers that were stationed in Crimea, they were upset, and that they sold information to a local partisan organization. That information was passed along to the Ukrainian Special Operations people, and that's what happened to that headquarters. Is it true? Maybe, but it doesn't matter. So, it could be true. That very well could be exactly what happened. It could also be a planted story. Okay. But it doesn't matter. And whether or not Russian command believes it, it doesn't matter because they still have to investigate it. Because here are the facts as they know them. Ukrainian Special Operations pulled off an incredibly precise operation at the exact time it needed to be pulled off. They had to get the information from somewhere. And from Russian officers who might know travel arrangements or something like that. I mean, that's as good a place as any to get it. So the story is believable. That means they have to investigate it. Okay? Even if they think that the Ukrainian intelligence just planted it, made it up to make them investigate it. They still have to do it because they can't blow it off, because what if they're wrong? Then it would happen again. But here's the thing. In a political climate like the one that exists in Russia right now, in a military that is undergoing, let's just say, rapid leadership changes because of questionable loyalties. If you are sent somewhere to find somebody who has betrayed Russia, you're going to find them, whether or not it exists. The story's believable, therefore they're going to act on it. The story has hit the news in the U.S. It is certainly all over Crimea, which means there is more distrust. Is it possible that some officers sold the information? Sure. It's also possible that one of them told Dorogaya in the morning. Just let it slip. The Russian command, they don't have the loyalty of the people around them. They're occupying the area. So most people that they interact with, they don't have any loyalty to them. So anything they let slip, any scrap of paper that hits the trash can, it's all intelligence, and it can all be passed back through a partisan organization. Now, the flip side of this is maybe they don't have a partisan organization and they made the whole thing up, and they're going to burn a whole bunch of resources that belong to Russia as Russia looks through it. And they try to find this organization that doesn't exist, but maybe it does. That's what makes stuff like this so successful. As long as the story is believable, it has to be investigated. When that investigation occurs in a military that is just racked with paranoia and distrust, they're going to find the traitor. That traitor they may have never spoken to anybody who's Ukrainian. They may have never provided any information to anybody. But the allegation has been made. Somebody will be tasked with finding the traitor, and they will. Because if they don't, well, then maybe they're the traitor. Feeding on that kind of paranoia, it's a smart psychological move. Now, the real question that people are asking, did it happen? No clue. And nobody's going to know until after the war. There are a whole bunch of ways they could have gotten that information. One of those many ways is that some officers who were unhappy with the situation with their leadership provided it. That's an option. And it's an option that's going to be investigated. When it comes to this kind of stuff, there's not a lot of value in trying to figure out what's true. The real value is trying to figure out what the responses are going to be. Because the truth doesn't matter in this situation at all. It's the first casualty. What matters is it believable, and will the opposition react to it? And they're absolutely going to, because it is believable. So I can't tell you whether or not some disloyal officers provided information to Ukraine, to some very murky partisan organization. I can't tell you whether or not that happened. But I can tell you that in short order, somebody from Russian counterintelligence, they'll find that person. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.